Hi, and thanks again for joining me. School's about to start, and I know we're still recovering from the effects of the pandemic. According to the Maryland Comprehensive Assessment Program test results released this week, MCPS saw gains in English scores, but our students' math results are still concerning, with only about 34% of students in grades 3 to 8 scoring proficient. My approved budget will help devote more resources and people to helping those students. It will also expand the number of wellness centers available to students across the district to help with mental health issues. A child's education is a year-round endeavor and is a responsibility beyond the classrooms, especially in the summer. I appreciate the work of our libraries for keeping so many children and teenagers reading this summer through the Summer Reading Challenge. I also want to acknowledge the efforts of the Department of Health and Human Services Positive Youth Development Program. They held 6 events across Montgomery County this summer under our Summer of Peace initiative to help engage youth and give them fun activities to look forward to from June to August. Over 1,400 children, teens, and families attended our Summer of Peace events, and we'll continue this program next summer. Other efforts, like our Department of Recreation Summer Camps program, provided safe spaces during the day throughout the summer. The programs gave 150 kids a job and allowed 75 young people to volunteer through the Teen Works program. Overall, more than 650 young people participated in rec activities this summer. Registration is now open for fall programs, and I encourage parents to consider the after-school and weekend programs that are available now. You can register online at activemontgomery.org. I'd also like to spread the word about the importance of scheduling back-to-school vaccinations. They're required for public school students, and they can't be ignored. The county is offering clinics most Tuesday mornings in September at the Dennis Avenue Health Center. Visit montgomerycountymd.gov/immunizations for more information. And MCPS hosts its back-to-school fair this Saturday at the Westfield Mall from 10 to 1. This is a great opportunity to learn about the school system and county programs and services. Enjoy free music, entertainment, giveaways, and youth activities. MCPS will offer free shuttles to the event from Montgomery Blair, Paint Branch, Gaithersburg, and Richard Montgomery High Schools. The first shuttle will depart from the high schools at 9 a.m. and the last shuttle will depart from Westfield Wheaton at 2 p.m. We hope to see you there. As we begin a new school year, I want to reiterate my call for an independent investigation into sexual harassment allegations made against a now suspended principal. Additionally, questions have been raised about possible systemic issues regarding responses that go beyond this one case. I'm bringing this up again because MCPS hired a law firm that they have an existing relationship with and that has defended the school administration in the past. This does not engender the public trust the school system badly needs on this issue. I do support the county's IG to look into this investigation, but I also know she has limited resources. Alternatively, if her capacity is too limited, the state IG could be asked to do this, or alternatively, a special investigator reporting to the IG could be retained. As I mentioned, an IG also needs to investigate other allegations that indicate that the current issue may not be an isolated incident. That is, there may be a problem with how these complaints are handled generally. Resolving the questions and concerns is vital for both the community and our staff. I hope that MCPS will change course to ensure a truly independent investigation. This is one of those things where appearance of what one does matters. One would assume that any properly done investigation would reach the same conclusion, and there are multiple entities capable of doing that. So why not pick an investigator that does not trigger concerns over their independence or objectivity? A new plan for a portion of the Capital Beltway and I-270 will be developed by the Maryland Department of Transportation at the request of Governor Wes Moore. Importantly, this proposal will not include the $6 billion public-private partnership developed and championed by the Hogan administration with Transurban, an Australian company. Governor Hogan's proposal was designed to provide lots of revenue and increase the stock value for Transurban shareholders, not to relieve congestion for Maryland motorists or provide public transportation options. I'm pleased by Governor Moore's announcement that MDOT will pursue $2.4 billion in a federal grant to pay for needed improvements to the road and to fix the American Legion Bridge first. These are two approaches that I've advocated for quite a while now. In fact, since former Governor Hogan announced his plan. With President Biden's emphasis on infrastructure and the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act last year, the state should have been previously pursuing this funding. Starting with the bridge is a common sense approach. It further recognizes the governor's desire to deal with the problem with actions rather than words. In addition, the governor's emphasis on transit in this plan, a significant departure from the previous administration, is a key to the success of relieving traffic congestion for our residents and businesses. Roads alone are not going to solve this problem. And by ignoring any kind of transportation emphasis in the previous governor's approach, we are leaving out opportunities to reduce congestion without relying solely on the road construction. I've talked with the governor's transportation staff, and it's clear that the actual build-out plan has yet to be determined. What is certain, they will work from the south, where the bridge is, to the north in developing a solution, and it does begin with the bridge. The administration is also aware of the broader community issues and concerns that have been raised. The governor and MDOT have clearly expressed a desire to ensure that they meaningfully engage the public, and I have no reason to assume that they won't. So I encourage people to stay engaged and be vocal about their concerns. I'm confident that by working in a truly collaborative fashion, something we weren't able to do last time, we can find a real solution to this issue that includes our community and resolves issues in a fiscally prudent manner. Maryland Task Force 1, including 50 members and 2 canines from Montgomery County Fire and Rescue Service, arrived in Hawaii on Saturday as part of the FEMA Urban Search and Rescue Team. They've been deployed to help cover miles of massive devastation caused by the deadly wildfires. Authorities are saying that more than 1,000 people remain unaccounted for. Our county is contributing over 10% of the workforce being deployed to this effort, and that's a meaningful contribution. This team is expected to be there for 2 weeks. It's going to be a very physically challenging and emotionally challenging work. I deeply appreciate their willingness to do this, and I wish them a safe tour of duty and a safe return. With barely any notice or warning to flee these fires, survivors lost their homes, belongings, possessions. Even with federal assistance, many of these families need more aid and help. These wildfires in Hawaii, hurricanes in Texas and Haiti, and tropical storms in California are not the only threats brought on by climate change. New wildfires starting in British Columbia, Canada, rising ocean temperatures, and record heat waves are still examples of the deadly dangers from the impact of climate change. The more we can do to protect our environment, improve our sustainability, and eliminate greenhouse gas emissions at home, and working together as a community, the better off we will all be. If you want to help, you can donate to the American Red Cross and other organizations that are working directly with the victims. During my weekly media briefing this week, I welcomed the new director of the Department of Environmental Protection, John Longer. I nominated him for the post because I recognize his passion for improving our lives through environmental change and also his leadership qualities. His experience and strategic direction is needed to help accomplish our environmental and sustainability goals. One way we're trying to improve our climate work is by making public transportation easier to use. Encouraging more people to leave their cars at home and use transit to go to work helps reduce greenhouse gases, eases congestion, and improves our quality of life. Ease and access to ride-on is critical to many of our residents. Our bus system trails only Metro as the second largest public transportation system in our region, serving 46,000 trips on an average workday. Public transportation can take cars off our streets and help us reach our climate action plan goals of cutting greenhouse gas emissions by 80% by 2027 and 100% by 2035. And I'm pleased that we will soon be purchasing our first hydrogen buses, as well as beginning construction of a fueling station for green hydrogen. This is part of transforming our bus fleet to zero emission by 2035, which already includes electric buses. And we're also working to continue to improve public transit ridership. We've just released our easy-to-use Ride-On Trip Planner app. The app allows for better planning across multiple modes of transportation, including ride-on buses, Metro Rail, Metro buses, scooters, and bike share. Funded through a Federal Transit Administration grant, this new app provides riders the ability to plan their trip with more precise information about timing, locations, routes, and crowd monitoring. In addition to ride planning, the app also features increased accessibility to better serve residents with disabilities. I encourage all county residents to download the free app, available via Google Play or the Apple App Store. Simply search Ride On Trip Planner. And if you have not used Ride On yet, or it has been a while, it's a good time to get on board. Free fares have been made permanent on Ride On for those under the age of 18. With the Kids Ride Free program, seniors and persons with disabilities can also ride for free. And now it's only $1 for everyone else. On the community health front, we continue to see a slow but steady rise in the number of COVID-19 cases here locally and across Maryland. In a graphic of our wastewater surveillance, you can see the spike in cases over the last month and how that compares to previous waves of COVID. Right now, case rates and hospitalizations are both elevated over the last week, but we're not seeing the same impact on emergency room visits or deaths. As long as those two later points remain the norm, we can manage this as we're doing now. The state of Maryland is dealing with something we haven't seen in 40 years though, and that's a locally acquired case of malaria. Health experts say it's an isolated case. The victim was hospitalized and is now recovering, but that person had not traveled from a country where malaria is an issue. Additionally, bug traps found West Nile virus present in mosquito populations here. No human case of West Nile has been reported yet, but like malaria, the disease can be deadly. Spraying to kill mosquitoes near traps in Laurel began on Sunday. Maryland is not the only state seeing mosquito-borne illnesses. Northern Canada is warming at 3 times the global rate there, and mosquitoes are spreading disease among wildlife at alarming rates. Virus antibodies were carried by Arctic foxes, caribou, and polar bears. It's no surprise then that in an area where mosquitoes are common, that we have new threats to monitor and be prepared for. Mosquitoes are the most deadly animals in the world. I know that's hard to grasp, but they kill nearly 725,000 humans every year. To avoid mosquito bites, you can tuck shirts into pants and pants into socks to cover gaps in your clothing where mosquitoes are when you go outdoors. Stay indoors if there's a mosquito-borne disease warning in effect, and use EPA-registered mosquito repellents when necessary. Anyway, that's a wrap for today. I hope you have a great week, and I'll be back again next week.